Fikile Mbalula has responded to Donald Trump's Turning Point USA comments, in which Trump talked about genocide, white genocide in South Africa, and his basis for creating a refugee program for South Africans suffering from unjust racial persecution. In response, Fikile Mbalula on Twitter, probably his biggest opponent, in other words, he competes with himself for stupidity on the platform, said the subtle message that Trump is saying is that black people are savages who kill with impunity. The racist trope that we are all uncivilized and animal-like as a race is what Afroform has peddled. No, they haven't. That's crimen injuria. And now Trump is reinforcing in his messaging. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Trump never claimed that black people are savages, nor has Afroform. These are more race-hustling lies by Fikile Mbalula. But the thing about savagery is that all human beings, sadly, are capable of savagery. Serial killers exist in every society. Murderers, rapists, pedos in every society. And savagery, well, while every civilization is capable of savagery, the Golden Horde, Chinese communists, the Soviets, the Nazi fascists, Africa is not exactly exempt from savagery. And I'm talking about recently, not World War II or 1,000 years ago. I'm talking about recently. The Mau Mau Rebellion in Kenya, thousands tortured and murdered. Rwanda, 850,000 black Africans butchered, mostly with machetes, hacked to death by black Africans. At least 5 million people now reportedly dead in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Many of the women gang raped, slaughtered, people executed, civilians burned alive. Is that not savagery? What about the Matabeleland massacres committed by the 5th Brigade of Zimbabwe and Robert Mugabe, killing 20,000 to 50,000 Ndebele, shooting them in the back of the head and burying them in shallow graves in Matabeleland? Is that not savagery? What about the Janjaweed in Darfur? Was that not savagery? ISWAP, the Islamic State in West African province, and what's happening in Nigeria, the slaughter of civilians there by black Africans, or Boko Haram in Nigeria, or Al-Shabaab in Somalia. Or let's go back slightly further to the 1990s when we saw Yugoslavia implode and there were vicious crimes being done by whites in the former Yugoslavia. At that time, the Algerian Civil War was going on, in which over 100,000 people were slaughtered. Now, they weren't black, they were Arab. But the point of the matter is that no society is exempt. You notice I just noticed white folks committing these atrocities, Arabs committing these atrocities, and black Africans. So for Fikile Mbalula to play the victim and pretend race is involved here, the only person introducing race is Fikile Mbalula. He's the one race hustling and distorting and lying about what's happening. Nobody else. Nobody else. The subtle message that Trump is saying is that black people are savages killed with impunity. Only a race hustler would reach that conclusion. I didn't reach that conclusion. The bottom line is 145 race-based laws, the treatment of white South Africans in medical facilities run by the government, the theft of land, the illegal expropriation of land, the murder, the torture. These are all things happening in South Africa to racial minorities, in particular to white South Africans. No one's saying that black South Africans are savages, and Trump is not implying that. And Fikile is not inferring that. He's simply lying about it. And he thinks that you are as dumb as he is. But you're not. At least we hope you're not that stupid. The truth of the matter is there. The facts are there. Nobody has ever claimed that black people are savages. I've listed a whole host of things that whites have committed, crimes against humanity that whites have committed, that Asians have committed, that blacks have committed, that Arabs have committed. Look at the Islamic State, what they did to the city. Savagery is not uniquely skin color because human beings are human beings. Skin color is skin deep, no pun intended. But Fikile Mbalula, it's not skin deep. It is the drum he beats to try to salvage his failing party, a party that has betrayed the liberation struggle. Interestingly enough, Cyril Ramaphosa moans about apartheid keeping South Africa the most unequal society in the world. But it wasn't the most unequal society in the world when apartheid ended under the National Party. In fact, it was demonstrably better, just 59 on the Gini coefficient scale. Today, 63 to 67, depending on whose data you use. South Africa is demonstrably worse and more unequal than ever before. And that's courtesy of 32 years of ANC malfeasance and malgovernance. So, if anyone thinks black people are savages, it's Fikile Mbalula, not Donald Trump, not me, and probably not most of my audience, if not all of it. Put that one in your pipe, Fikile, and start telling the truth.